An apartment for rent at 1630 Spruce Avenue. It's an upstairs apartment, 1 bedroom, $450 down and $450 a month. The water and the trash is paid. If you're interested, call 671-0347. I got a slightly better understanding of the trash situation. Apparently there's 7 or 8 private groups that are just running around here trying to get residential trash, and they all charge money. They charge money to pick up trash. They charge extra to pick up recycling. Not all of them have free drop-off centers. There's one somewhere in, 20 miles away with one of the companies, but there's no recycling plants to drop off. There's no free. I mean, there's free recycling drop-off for profit. There's profit centers, recycling centers that take your trash, that pay for your trash, that make money out of it. In Grand Junction, they're taking your shit. They're taking every bit of it. So waste to energy in Grand Junction, Colorado. So they're already doing it. It costs $3 million, the same amount of money that we just give to L3 DOS, the airline thing. So we don't mind giving $3 million so private corporations can make a shit ton of money. What we don't want is investing in our own grocery stores so our citizens can eat. I don't know how much the fees are. Essentially, Archuleta's is the cheapest, $51 for 3 months, and then Waste Connections is $53 for 3 months, and then C&C Disposal is $56.25 quarterly. So the cheapest would be Archuleta's, $51 every 3 months. Then the $53 every 3 months is Waste Connections, and then $56.25 for every 3 months is C&C Disposal. So Archuleta's is, $2 or $3 or $4 cheaper. There's also another one, A Affordable Disposal, 5-star disposal. It's a dump. And then they have 2 different landfills. There's a south side landfill, and then there's another landfill somewhere. So there's at least two landfills that I know of that these companies are dropping their trash. Midway landfill, and then there's a south side landfill. So Midway landfill, south side landfill. So at least 2 landfills that we are by the ton just dumping it into it. And I think the trash company, one of them owns one of them, but the other ones they got to lease this stuff, so they got to pay, right? They make us pay, and then they got to pay the land, fill to dump the shit there. So it's just, one big fucking money game. It's one big money game, and all this trash, all the plastics, all the cardboard, it can be recycled. That which can't be recycled, all of it, you can recover energy out of all of it. With an incinerator, you get rid of 87% of all the trash, so you're not having to bury it and put all that methane out into the air. Methane is worse than carbon dioxide. Methane is a worse global warmer than carbon dioxide by 21%. So methane is way worse than carbon dioxide. So that's why incineration is better for the planet than burying everything in the ground. It's Midway Landfill, and it's saying that it's 8925 Rancho, Colorado Boulevard in Fountain, Colorado. So that's where we're throwing all of our trash in, somewhere in Fountain, right? So I guess that doesn't really even bother us. It's in Midway. So it says Waste Management. So Waste Connection, Waste Management, I don't know. But there's a Midway landfill, and then there's a Southside landfill. So at least 2 landfills that I know, at least 4 different collection sites that I know about. There could be 3 or 4 more collection sites that I haven't got around to. I'll probably go with the cheapest one here. And then there's at least 2 landfills, Southside landfill and then Midway landfill. So that's the current trash situation. We don't have any waste to electricity plants. There might be 1 free drop-off center for the recycling, but if you want that as a service, you'll the chieftain, Zach Hillstrom. I guess he took the photo. Not for sure who this is written by, but Ryan Severance. Okay, so Ryan Severance just updated this last night. There's a man. He's suicidal. They said about 5 p.m. on Sunday, officers were sent to the area of Dutch Clark Stadium on a report of a suicidal person. That person's name is Kevin Montoya, 30 years old. Kevin Montoya was suicidal, had a handgun. Apparently he had fired at some teens, and then there was a big standoff, and then he apparently shot at the police, but he was drunk, so the police waited for his drunkenness to stop, and then when he passed out on the rocks, then they took him into custody. So that was on Union Avenue Bridge Sunday night, and 5 p.m. Sunday. So this was yesterday. This was yesterday that this big suicidal scare. So the Pueblo police should be applauded because he did not die. There was 3 teenage boys at the river bottom area. They were riding bikes along the river trail under the 4th Street Bridge. So I'm not sure what is going on with Kevin Montoya's life, but thankfully he did not shoot these children. He's shooting at them. He's suicidal. So, I don't know what's going on, but pretty much we're all human, so maybe he needs a hug. But I'm not for sure exactly what's going on. I'm glad that the police stopped him. Montoya fired a round from his handgun into the air. During the standoff with police, he walked to the south end of the bridge, down the steps toward the river trail. Montoya then stumbled out onto the rocks and pointed the handgun at the surrounding officers several times. So he did point out, the gun towards the police. They said allegedly when it was citizens, but when the police said it, well, that's true. We know that happened. The article also doesn't mention who the police officer is that arrested him, who was the savior, who actually discovered this. So, by not saying who the officers are that were involved, we're not getting the full story, and we don't know who our heroes are. This is a great thing by the police department. Who did it? Who did it? Who found this? Who gave the order to talk him down instead of just shooting at the guy? This is, these are good things, and these things I want to know about because this is good news. This is good news for the police department. You didn't kill a suicidal person. Usually some suicidal person is like, I'm suicidal, and then they point shit ton of guns on them. Right? Apparently the gun had jammed, and then he threw the gun into the river. The gun could not be found. So he had a handgun, right? Allegedly, he had a handgun. If we're going to go ahead and pretend that the 3 kids who got shot at, that they're alleged this, we were shot at. Bullshit. Ryan Severance, his skepticism is on, full blast when it comes to citizens, but when it comes to the police, no, they said it. It's clearly true if they said it. Montoya is taken to a local hospital. He was admitted for a medical problem. Upon his release, police said Montoya will be booked into Pueblo County Jail on suspicion of menacing, reckless endangerment, violation of a restraining order. This is attempted murder charges. So, they're really being lenient with him. But just menacing, reckless endangerment, give me a fucking break. This is, I don't know. I hope the guy, that he's okay at the end of all this. The big, call celebrate. There was a lot of people there. There was dozens of Pueblo emergency units, police, fire department, park rangers, emergency medical personnel. They blocked off Union Avenue, West Corona Avenue to West B Street. I saw something go out, on the wire when this stuff was going out. The Pueblo was like, just back off and let the police do their job, which is, I don't think that's the job of the Pueblo chieftain to cover the asses of the public officials. They're supposed to be putting the public officials' feet to the fire to make sure that they, they all protocol, make sure they did everything right and everything's on the up and up. So the fact that Pueblo chieftain is like, everybody just let them do their job, sounds like you're fucking biased. So, and of course they are. Fascism, big business, government, this shit's already, God, this has already been settled for us a long time ago. Sergeant Dennis Furbush. Okay, so we got some name. Sergeant Dennis Furbush. Like, was Troy there? Was Troy Davenport there? So Dennis Furbush, he's at least talking to the media, and his name, is published there. He's with the Pueblo Police Department, and he's saying that the guy turned the weapon on himself. He was making suicidal statements. We just held in place and attempted to negotiate with him for quite some time, which is exactly what they should have done. I think that they're, in the past they have not done a good job. The guy gets shot or the guy gets killed. So Furbush said that the suspect was clearly drunk. We could tell he was intoxicated. It appeared he was intoxicated, so we just waited for that to take its course. And then eventually they said that the man could have been trying to get them to return the fire, but they stood their ground. They did not fire back. They were very disciplined. So Dennis Furbush, congratulations, Dennis Furbush. Thank you. The man, Kevin Montoya, wandered out into the middle of the Arkansas River on a line of rocks and passed out. And they said that he was kind of trapped at that point. He still had the handgun. They was pointing at the officers and himself. Waited for that alcohol to take effect. But I heard the other article, he threw the handgun into the river. So allegedly, was there even a handgun? Are you all kidding? Y'all didn't even know where the gun is? And the Arkansas River, you saw where it went. Like he threw, like why wouldn't you? Anyways. So, yeah, I'm glad it all turned out okay. Everybody's safe. Nobody died. And hopefully the guy gets treatment. He needs some treatment. We're going to shove this mentally unstable person into a shitty jail with a criminal justice system that's corrupt and gets petty people and homeless people and petty drug possessions. So we already have a shit ton of people in this jail that doesn't need to be in the jail, but we're going to put a crazy person in all these other conditions. That's crazy. There's this lady, Colby. She went with her dog Bandit to Khan's office as a new patient. The attorney is Andrew C. Montoya. I wonder if Andrew is related to Kevin. So Colby, she has this service dog, and this is such a weird case. I'm absolutely against discrimination of all kinds. Now, you have a service dog. We don't know you have to have your papers. Okay, if you have all your papers. But even still, well, there's people that's allergic to dogs, you know. There's dog hairs, and they get dog stuff all over the place. And then how about how other people feel? There's some offices that have small waiting rooms. And so not only do you get your space, but then you get another space for this big-ass dog. Meanwhile, it's a dog-eat-dog society, so I don't even really feel like I got much of a say-so. Maybe if I brought a dog along with me, you know, I'd get some respect and people would actually give a damn. Wait a second. That man has a dog. We need to save him. Make sure he's okay. The Colorado Cross Disability Coalition filed a lawsuit August 2nd in the U.S. District Court in Denver, and it said that Endocrine Services denied Colby's allegations but did not elaborate. So Endocrine Services, so she goes to get this, you know, whatever. She's going to get some sort of medical thing done. She walks in. They say, hey, you can't have your dog in here. She's like, oh, yeah. And at the very end, it says because of the discrimination that she had suffered, she went outside. She sat in her car for 30 minutes. And then after 30 minutes, she goes home, and she couldn't get out of bed for 4 days because she was just so appalled by the discrimination that she had suffered. So that seems crazy. There's a balance with everything, right? So yes, you need your dog, but if the office doesn't allow for dogs, you got to find another medical office. So you know what? We have to accept your dog fur getting everywhere. Just having friends in, you know, low places. She was able to get a lawsuit out like that, you know. So this is a couple months ago. Then within a month, this lawsuit comes out. So that's remarkable. I mean, lawsuits, it's fees, it takes money. A lawyer has to be committed to it and really want to back this thing. So this is what they're going to spend their money on. This is the big cause, you know, celebrate. This is, I think this is much ado about nothing. And, you know, I think they could pick a better battle than this. This is, there's a balance, right? You're going to, what, I have to sit there and suck in your dog's fur and all the fleas and all the crap that comes off of a dog? I got, as a person who's sitting in the lobby, I got to sit there and tolerate that. So you're discriminated against me. You know, I don't, dogs with the fur stuff and all the fleas. No, why the hell would I want that? Like, I don't even, with other humans, right? They could have like kind of things jump off of them, but a dog, an animal that's like licks its own butt. September 1st, 2017, you had 69-year-old Jeffrey T. Mass. There were shots fired in the home, but he was able to be apprehended without anybody getting shot and killed. So good on the Pueblo Police Department for that. Then you have this coroner's report here. This is a bad situation all around. I don't know. There's definitely ways that you can combat it because there's people that want to exploit you. Those are your oppressors. Do as I say. I'm the boss. Shut the hell up. That's who this Jennifer Homala is. So I don't know what the hell the 10-year-old Stephanie could have done to Jennifer that pissed her so much that she'd want to murder her own daughter. But Jennifer Homala is a sick son of a bitch. She is such a piece of shit. You can't get a bigger piece of shit that wants to murder their own kid. So I don't give a damn about Jennifer Homala. I want to remember Stephanie, 10-year-old Stephanie. What did 10-year-old Stephanie, what was her big crime that Jennifer felt the need to murder her? She had both her elbows on the... Taylor says that there's overwhelming evidence that the mother and the daughter were the only two individuals in the home at the time of the shooting. They were found dead in Pueblo West. So Jennifer Hamula, so Jennifer Hamula, she'd been working as a Fremont jailer for, you know, decades. So she's a psycho. She's an oppressor by trade. She was saying, shut up, do as I told. Fremont County, there's rapes that happen in Fremont County all the time. People go into Fremont County jail. They never come back out. And so that's, you know, that's who she is. That's who she is. How many crimes did she watch? How many crimes did she cover up? How many times did she treat people like dog shit? Right? She's a big, you know, big, powerful person when she goes to the jail, but then she needs to love her daughter, and she doesn't understand love. She understands control, domination, shut the hell up, do as I'm told, right? Just like the teachers at the school system. They believe in 100% compliance. Shut the hell up. They're the boss. You're nobody. And R.I.P. Stephanie Hamula. R.I.P. Stephanie Hamula. Stephanie Hamula should be remembered forever because she was an innocent victim, and it was a white woman, a mother, a jailer, a person who had a job, looked good on the outside, but she was clearly dead on the inside. The fact that she could do something so wicked, so evil. I want to know everything that there is to know about this Jennifer Hamala. What religion was she? Was she Christian? Where did she go to school? She worked at this jailer, so what's going on at this jail? Why are these jailers such psychos? Will all these jailers, will they all, start shooting their own kids? And like I said, there's raping that's going on in the jails in Fremont County. So Fremont County is such a horrible place. Don't, fuck them, those people. They're rapists. Their officials are raping people, innocent people that don't deserve to be raped. But they don't give a shit. They don't have any system of justice. It's a thin blue line. The jailers are allowed to rape anybody, and nobody's going to do a damn thing about it because a situation that didn't end off well. So there was a domestic violence at the resident 2200 block of East 14th Street around 1 a.m. near Highway 50 and Troy Avenue. They don't mention the guy's name, but apparently they're shooting at some people, but they left the apartment, and then the man just barricades himself, and then after a while they don't hear any shots. 45 minutes, they sent a robot in. It was deemed safe for the officers to enter the apartment. Then that's when the officers found the man who was dead by a gunshot wound at about 5 a.m. So this is about over a 4-hour period. The officers say they never fired their guns. So that's a good way to do it, but the guy still killed himself, so it was a loss. I don't know who the man's name is. There's 2 articles written about this. Neither one of them had the guy's name. Neither one of them. So killing yourself don't even. Pueblo County has had a really bad problem with teen suicides. There was 5 teen suicides that killed themselves in 1 month. 5 teenagers in 1 month earlier this year in 2017. And so 5 teens over in a span of 5 months, and there's been 4 on top of that, so 9 total. Last year there were 34 adults who had killed themselves. So this isn't just a teenage thing, but the fact that our children are killing themselves, so that's remarkable. That makes all the police work that was done last night with Kevin Montoya even more remarkable. So there's a suicide epidemic, right? This bad thing is going on. What the fuck is going on? We should ask Kevin Montoya these tough questions. Why do you feel like this? Where is this going? What can we do about it? Is there anything that could have prevented this if we want to actually stop this shit from happening? So this is, we have a bad suicide epidemic in Pueblo City, and so according to a report set to run in November's edition of the American Journal of Public Health. So there's an American Journal of Public Health study, a report that's coming out that says the amount of opioid-related deaths has dropped by 6.5% in Colorado during the 2 years following the legalization of recreational marijuana in 2014. So opioid-related deaths has actually dropped. So this makes me think of Charlotte Perez, who says that instead of people doing heroin, why don't you smoke a joint? And people might, I think that's an advancement. That's clear. That's progression. So here we see that legalizing marijuana has lessened the amount of heroin deaths. So that means the legalization of marijuana has made the heroin issue better. It has made it better. There are less deaths now with heroin because marijuana is legalized. So I'm sure all the right-wing fuckers are going to be all pissed off about that. Big scientific study with professors and everything, American Journal of Public Health, and then you got researchers from University of North Texas, University of Florida, and Emory University. They analyzed opioid-related deaths in Colorado from the start of 2000 to the end of 2015, so for 15 years, to determine whether it was recreational or medicinal marijuana that was potentially impacting opioid death rates. Researchers compared data from Colorado with data from Nevada and Utah, states where only medical marijuana was legal during the time periods considered for the study. So they also tried to account for changes in Colorado's prescription drug monitoring program, which began in 2014, began requiring those prescribed opioids to sign up for but necessarily use the program. So while the results showed a 6.5% reduction in opioid-related deaths, about 1 less death per month than in previous years, the researchers cautioned From the American Journal of Public Health states the case plainly the legalization of cannabis in Colorado is associated with short-term reductions in opioid-related deaths. So American Journal of Public Health, University of Texas or Florida or whatever they said. So these are reputable universities. This is a reputable academic journal, American Journal of Public Health, and then they state the case very plainly. The legalization of cannabis in Colorado was associated with short-term reductions in opioid-related deaths. So you want to save people on heroin? You want to get people off of heroin? Legalize marijuana. Listen, America, listen. Legalizing marijuana took the heroin deaths and brought it down. It's making everything better. It's making everything better. So fuck the war on drugs.